Disneyland became a little bit sadder today thanks to a group of goofball knuckleheads who made a complete fool of themselves on the internet for a problem that's so insurmountably minuscule that if they had just an ounce of conflict resolution skills, they wouldn't be roasted on the internet today.
They cut on the walk. They cut on the walk. Were you guys walking slow?
So the story goes that Deedle D and Deedle Dumb here were called out for cutting everyone in line, and they calmly explained that they were only catching up to their group of friends. Just kidding, we live in Cuckoo Cocka land, and they decided to choose violence and talk shit. The main protagonist of this lunacy is this buffoon with supporting characters Yes Man's sidekick and this insufferable spoiled brat. Buffoon is the one I really wanted to talk about though, because he went off on the cameraman, including but not limited to
Fuck, bro, you're a fucking nerd, dude. Like fucking Harry Potter.
completely violating cameraman by calling him a nerd and telling him that he looks like Harry Potter, which is like sick burn, I guess. Ooh, ouch. Somebody get him some aloe vera. That's gotta sting, I guess.
I don't disrespect females. You're a bitch, though.
Claiming that he doesn't disrespect females to only immediately disrespect a female. Oh, and by the way, later on in the video, he pushes one of his friends. I think her name was Stella. He does like a Naruto almighty push. He absolutely shoves her out of the way. So yeah, clear indication of doesn't disrespect females. To quote a wise man, actions speak louder than words.
Mans is recording me because he wants to be famous. So I'm going to give him his 10 seconds of fame on my Snapchat. What's your at?
He also recorded the cameraman for his Snapchat, claiming that he's going to give him free clout, which I don't know how many followers he has on Snapchat, but he definitely does only have 62,000 followers on TikTok. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah.
I play football at the University of Central Florida. Show him, pussy.
And in my opinion, the funniest infraction, his claim to play football for the University of Central Florida. It's funny to me that he made that claim, and it's even funnier to me that UCF made a response stating that they didn't know who the fuck he was. Now, at this point, the Disney manager comes to confront them. I think they leave. There was also at one point a dad also talks to them because they were dropping like really vulgar language in front of kids. Now, there are two sides to every story. Buffoon did post a response on TikTok responding to the video.
But unfortunately, I got recorded when I was emotional at the time because these dudes gave racial slurs. Hard racial slurs started coming out. Hard ER. I was the only black dude with my group, so it couldn't have been going at anybody but me, you know?
He states that, first of all, he was in the wrong for acting so emotional, but he was only emotional because one of the people called him the N-word was the hard ER. And he also did say that there were better ways of reacting to the situation. And it's like, okay, well, I get why you got emotional. It would make sense. That's a valid reason. He also said his friends were defending him. And now this is where it gets kind of funky. I'm just saying. Because when you look through the entire original video, not a single person mentioned any form of, oh, you called him the N-word, you're a racist. Your friends, you have bad friends. If this is true, you have bad friends. Because if it were me, if one of my friends was called a racial slur, I would probably hone in on that fact for the duration of the night instead of just they must have fucking dropped it because they didn't mention it at all. Also, side note, when you gave Stella the almighty push and pulled out your phone, I don't know who it was addressed to, but Stella did. It sounded like she was calling you a bundle of sticks by the way you were holding your phone. I don't know. It might have been directed towards the dude. Point is, not a single person said the word racist or, hey, you bad person calling my friend the N-word. None of that happened in the video. So now there are two sides to the story. One side is saying there were a bunch of obnoxious youngsters who cut in line, and made a complete fool of themselves. The other is saying, hey, we didn't really do anything wrong, but you called me a racist comment, and that's why I made a complete fool of myself. I'm slowly kind of going to the first group just because I don't think anything racist was said. His story kind of went all over the place because, for example, it started off with him saying that there were two wives that kind of started it all, but he didn't want to argue with them because he didn't want to disrespect them. But then he later says that it was just him and five other dudes, and that's why he didn't want Stella in on the argument so he could protect her. And it's like, what is going on in the story? I don't know. I don't get it. But that is pretty much the story from what I'm seeing. I guess the moral of the story is don't go to Disney because it costs too much. Yeah. Also, last note, I'm leaving this for the end because I don't have his live stream saved, but he did say Stella was 17. And in the original video, he said his girlfriend and he's 23, so ooh, gross, yucky. Dude.